Good morning, it's Rand, and
Rhys.
I pointed at him for the first time, and he said his name. Well done. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're not new to the show, thanks for coming back. We were going to talk about the show Devs. We're recording this a bit early because Reese has something this weekend.
Hmm.
And because it's a bit early, we're going to just talk about this show called Devs that I watched and then I had him watch. And I had a lot
Hmm.
of thoughts about it, but then there was an X-Men 97 episode that probably warrants more discussion. So we'll talk about both
Yeah.
and likely talk more about one or the other. I don't know. We'll see.
No, we'll have to keep it like completely even. So I'll
Yeah,
time the devs conversation and
that's
then
that's important. 4 minutes each, and then we'll alternate back and forth.
okay, we'll argue.
Yeah,
I don't even
which is
know. Just
better. We'll decide if Devs, the entire show, is better than the one episode of X-Men 97, which is called Remember Me or Remember It. Let me check.
oh, I get it.
I don't.
Um,
Hold on. What is it called?
I think
Remember It.
yeah. So that's just setting
Yeah.
the show. It's a line.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a Reese to For You page today? It's not basketball related?
I have one. I sent you a video. I don't know if you
Which
have
one?
it actively, but it's one where it's like
In text or
this.
over in a
No,
group chat?
over TikTok.
Oh no, I don't look
Yeah,
at
that's what I
TikTok, I
figured.
guess, enough.
But it's the song Sweater Weather, I believe. Yeah, let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
But it'll have like two characters, and it'll be like the example I sent you, it was Rosa Diaz, and then it was Pimento.
Yeah.
And so you had those two, and you'd be like, oh, those are the two together. So it's like just like really wholesome lyrics. And then you swipe again, and it's like the dude from The Office, I forget his name in the show. The Pontiac
Jim?
Bandit. No, the Pontiac Bandit. Craig Robinson, I
Oh,
think.
yeah, Craig
Yeah, it's
Robinson.
him, and it's the
Wait.
the lyrics from Sweater Weather because he's like more poetic and towards his love for Rosa,
Yeah.
and
Is it
that's kind of it. That's my favorite one right now.
Okay, well, I'll link that below, by which I mean I probably won't. I have a Reese For You page. It's a photo I sent to Reese of two twins in a womb, and one of them just punches the other. It's from a
Uh,
comic book,
that was
and
funny as
it's the
hell.
funniest thing I've ever seen. And I never realized how funny I would find an infant punching another infant, which,
I was not expecting that because I was watching Jojo Rabbit with Emma, so I was already in
yeah.
like a really like a cheerful mood. And then I saw your text saying you need to see this, so I pulled it up and I was like, oh, it was the funniest
That
thing.
was a threat from me to you, Reese.
Yeah,
I
you were gonna
guess.
punch me when I was a baby.
When we were both babies. Should we start with the devs or X-Men 97? What do you think?
I don't care.
I don't think the devs convo is gonna last that long because we already texted about it. But
Yeah,
if
we
you're
can start with
unfamiliar,
devs then.
yeah, if you're unfamiliar with the show, it is, how do I describe it to you? It's like a mystery show, but the central conceit is the developer branch of a company that is working on something in secret. Someone gets hired to go work there, then they disappear, and so that
Hmm.
person's partner, girlfriend is trying to figure out what happened and like what unravel the mystery of what devs is.
Hmm.
And I told Reese, because he's a nerd, like a computer genius, and I was like, "Hey, you'd like this."
In trouble here. Can you say that again?
I
Yeah, say it
Alexa
again.
one. I will not. But yeah, I told him, I'm like, Dad, this is really interesting. One of maybe the best idea for a show I've ever come across. And so Reese watched it. What did you think? I have notes. My first question is it
It
good?
was fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
think I
started out really well, right?
yeah, and the story is very compelling, which, like you said, it's a very interesting
Yeah.
plot. My issue, and I said this to you yesterday, I could not get past the acting. It wasn't horrible, like it
Yeah,
wasn't
some of the
bad.
acting was dry. Like the line deliveries weren't always just great. Like you didn't sometimes it felt like you're watching an actor act, which is not what you
Yeah,
want when you're watching something. You want to feel like you're being a voyeur looking in on a
yeah,
situation.
and it
But
might not have been like a actor actress issue. It could have been the writing, and they just like focused so heavily on like the story versus like dialogue and that kind of stuff. But
right. Like we talked about it, Ron Swanson's in it and he's playing hippie
yeah,
Ron Swanson. Not even like a hippie, just long hair, I guess. But
yeah,
him and Allison Pill are both in it and they're incredible actors. Not that anyone else in the show is bad, but they just blew him out of the water, in
yeah,
my
they do
opinion.
really well. Like
Yeah.
especially the scene where his wife gets in like the car crash or whatever, and he
Yeah, that
just
was
starts like
really
walking
like
towards it. I was like,
that
oh
was
damn,
affecting.
good
Yeah.
job, Ron Swanson.
What a great actor. My next note, I just wrote down
I
Lyndon.
liked Lyndon.
What do you think? Describe Lyndon to me.
Describe Lyndon to you.
Yeah.
It is a kid who's very smart.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know what are you looking for here.
Lyndon is a girl. Did you know that?
I thought Lyndon was a guy.
I mean, I don't know in the show,
Like
but
he's very androgynous.
at one point, I don't know what gender that actor is playing in the show, but at one
Hmm.
point, Lyndon's friend says, "You're 19, like you've got plenty of life to live." And I'm like, there's no way that person's 19. So I went onto IMDb to be like, is this person actually 19? Turns
Hmm.
out, I don't remember what her name is, but she plays Priscilla in that Elvis movie about Priscilla.
Haley Spain.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think she
Is
was around 19
when did Des come
when
out? 2014?
2020
Oh, I was way off.
or 2021. Yeah, 2020.
Okay.
Mind blowing. That's why I want to talk about this show. 'Cause I was
Is
like,
it
oh, she's in the next Alien movie, which looks great. She's in Civil War, the movie that's about to come out by the same guy who made Devs.
yeah, I definitely thought Lyndon was female
Oh, you did?
for the show. And then they said he at one point, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But it's possible they're like trans or something, but
I mean, disclosure to the audience, it doesn't matter.
no.
Like none of this matters at all. I just was like, oh, this is Priscilla. I haven't seen Priscilla,
Hmm.
but I was like, that's crazy. This person's got great range.
Yeah, but I like Lyndon a lot. At
Yeah,
first,
I
I
mean-
like despised Lyndon for like the first time I saw them. I was like, oh God, it's gonna be this kind of character. But then
Oh, it's a
they're cool.
child genius. God damn
Yeah.
it.
They're gonna be so annoying.
Yeah. At what point? Because we talked about this yesterday when did you finish it yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I apologized, but I thought about texting you to apologize because at a certain point in the show, I started to dislike it. And I was like, oh, this great concept in execution or in further execution fell off the rails for me
Mhm.
so hard. And I was like, oh, I feel bad recommending this.
No, it still sounded interesting, and I hadn't even heard of it, so I'm glad that
Right.
I was able to watch it. But
But-
I kind of felt the same way. At the end, there's some parts at the end of the show that I was like, this is really cool. Like I like how they're doing this.
Right.
But then like the ending was dumb.
Yeah. You really articulated it well because I was talking to my friend about this who hasn't seen the show. I just brought it up and he wanted me to spoil it for him. And what you said described it a lot better than I described it. I'm trying to find it right now. You said, I find it hard to think that if we are predetermined to do A, but have the knowledge we do A, then we can't force ourselves to choose to do B. And that's exactly how I was feeling. Like once they got to the point, because, I guess spoilers for devs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll put that in earlier. But the devs program is working on using quantum computing to trace back cause and effect. So one thing, like they lived in a deterministic world, and then they go back in time and they go from effect to cause to effect to cause, and eventually end up like they can see the beginning of the universe and shit. Great concept. It's believable. I don't know if it's actually possible. I'm not a quantum mania.
Yeah,
but
I'm not
like,
familiar with quantum computing or like all the many worlds that those kind of theories and
Right.
stuff I'm not very familiar with.
But if we do live in a deterministic world, then theoretically, I guess if we had the computing power, we could do that, at least to an extent.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, this is really interesting. But then they switched, like, because most of the show is them creating images and videos of what happened in the past using quantum computing and the program to be like, oh, this is Jesus on the cross. This is Neanderthal, things like that. But when they switched to predicting the future, I was like, okay, I can't buy this anymore.
Yeah,
Like
like that doesn't make sense to me.
exactly how you described it, where, okay, I guess the cause and effect thing would translate to a future deterministic world as well.
Mhm.
However, if you know, like, I'm going to say this thing, you don't have to say it, I feel.
Yeah.
And even Ron Swanson said, like, when he was talking to Lily in that room, he was like, this is exactly what I've always said to you in the program or in the predictions. It's not that I have to say it. I just feel that I want to. And I'm like, yeah, but you can not do something that you want to do. Or if you want to say something, you can say something else. Want is not the same as necessity, you know?
Mhm. And just because they truly believe in it, that's the one thing keeping them from like doing anything else.
Right. And then there is it should have been more impactful moment where Lily throws the gun.
Yeah,
It's
I was
really
like, that was
fucking
good.
stupid.
Because
Oh,
they
you liked it?
actually no, I thought it was good in the sense that like, oh, there you go. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like she knows
Right.
what was supposed to happen and could so easily be like, well, no, I don't want to
I
do
guess
this.
she did do it quite casually. I just thought the imagery of doing that was kind of
Oh.
lame.
Just the
Yeah. And then fucking they put Ron Swanson into the computer and Lily because they die.
Mhm.
And then Ron Swanson is like, she is Jesus. She is Deus because she apparently is the first human in history to make a choice, which is bizarre.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is it's only counts as a choice because she was aware that she could do something
Right.
different.
I guess that's the first opportunity, not really, but like it's the first opportunity where someone knew what they were going to do and chose to do something else.
Yeah,
Because Ron Swanson and Allison Pill's character, Katie, I think,
Katie.
uh, and Forrest is Ron Swanson.
Hmm.
They knew what was going to happen, but they didn't try to change it. They just accepted it.
Yeah,
And I was like,
which is
okay. But
dumb.
I guess fucking. So I have a question for you. The other guy, I think his name's
Stewart,
Stephen McKinley, Stewart.
I loved
Love
Stewart.
that guy.
What a
He's in
homie.
everything. Such a great actor. He's in Dune.
It's a nice voice.
Yeah,
I like
right?
him quoting whoever that was. We never learned.
Oh, there's a trivia piece on it. Do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
Because I was looking at trivia and hold on. This might take a second.
Let's
It's
go for it.
Stewart recites sections of The Second Coming by W.B. Yeats. It's not actually
W.B.
Shakespeare.
Yeats.
Yeats, like
That's
Yeats.
great name. Warner
But
Brothers. Yeats.
when Stewart turns off the electromagnetic field thing that controls that horizontal elevator,
Hmm.
he says it was preordained, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he was saying that just because he knows everything's deterministic? Or do you think he also looked into the future and that's what the program had him doing? And so the program responds to the person who was viewing it. Because that's quantum, isn't it? Like, at least
Mhm.
in my understanding, like it's something to do with a particle is only positioned in time and space when you view it. If
Yeah,
you're not
that's
viewing,
an
yeah.
aspect of it.
So the program might know who is looking at the display and changes the future based on that. Do you think that Stewart had looked into the future and saw like, oh, this is what I do, so we did it? Or do you think he was just saying it's predetermined because he came to believe and accept that everything's deterministic? And so he was just saying that kind of like partially as a joke and like a fuck you to Katie and Forrest, but
Yeah,
also go
I feel
ahead.
like I saw it as a FU to them, where
That
they
I
believed
think
it
that
so
makes more
wholeheartedly
sense.
that they were
Right.
doing like kind of stupid things. And
Yeah.
then so he was like telling her that as like oh yeah, I was gonna do it no matter what. Like so clearly you can't blame me because that's their mindset.
Right. And
That's kind of how I saw it, but it could have been that he looked into it. And then like they could look into the future at any situation happening. They didn't like
right.
so when they plugged it in, he could easily have said, "Oh, what am I going to be doing at this time?"
Yeah, and they added in the many worlds theorem. That's how they got it to work, which I mean that just makes it nothing. The program, I guess.
Yeah,
Like it's still compelling and interesting. Like if you're gonna sell that to consumers, people would respond to that. It'd be like, "Oh, like this is fun to see." Like that
Mhm.
episode of Rick and Morty where Jerry and Beth and Summer obsess over their lives in
Different
different
altitude. Yeah,
timelines. Yeah, but I don't know, my next note is the weird old man fight.
I didn't
It was so
like that.
slow and like
Yeah,
quiet.
because there's this character called Kenton
Yeah, Kenton, he
who
was fighting Anton, I
is like a
think.
yeah, and Kenton's like a discount. What was it, Mike
Mike
Ehrmantraut? Is that what you
Ehrmantraut
said?
from
Yeah,
Breaking Bad and
he's
Better Call
not
Saul.
threatening at all.
No.
He doesn't really do anything besides, I guess he goes around beating people up, but like
Yeah, I
he's
mean, he killed Sergey, but
yeah.
like Sergey was very much at a disadvantage. That wasn't a fair fight at all.
No, and he killed Anton, which surprised the hell out of me because I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I felt like,
Anton clearly has the upper hand here.
yeah,
And then he just somehow died. I didn't even notice how it happened.
it was so like, I don't know what happened either. I don't know. He was doing something and then suddenly it just panned to Anton like putting his head to the side. I'm like, oh, I guess he's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I thought Anton was choking Kenton out the
That's
entire
what I
time.
thought.
So maybe he stabbed him because I know the knife was somewhere.
I guess maybe he left the knife inside Kenton because Kenton got stabbed. Like, also that stab was super funny. That whole fight. What a silly fight scene.
Yeah, it was not well choreographed.
Yeah, I mean it was fine. Like I
I
didn't
guess
it
it's
didn't ruin the
realistic.
show. Is it though? I've never been
I
in
don't
a
know.
fight with an old man, but like
I've never been an old man.
that's true. But yeah, Alex Garland is a creator, director, and writer of Devs, who you might know. He made Ex Machina. Have you seen that?
No.
You should watch that.
Okay.
It's kind of neat that he made Ex Machina in 2014 or whatever, and then he made Devs, but Devs actually stands for Deus. So he's made Deus Ex
Hmm.
Machina. He made Annihilation. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, he made Men. that horror movie from a few years ago,
Mm-mm.
and he's making the upcoming Civil War movie, which is apparently horrifying.
Horrifying.
Yeah, like just
The horror movie? I thought it was like
no,
a
I mean it's not like supernatural horror. It's just people are finding it
human life.
horrifying. Yeah, like oh this is horrifying to watch half of America fight the other half of America, which it would be. I mean, war is horrifying to begin with, but
Kristen Dunst.
yeah, and Meth Damon's in it too. Real life couple.
Wow. And Nick Offerman's president, isn't he?
Yeah. And
Wow.
Lyndon's in it.
Lyndon.
Yeah, it's apparently great. I'm kind of worried about seeing that in theaters, at least early, because I was talking to our parents about this, but that's the kind of movie I think people would take action on. And hopefully
Yeah,
that doesn't
maybe
happen.
wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say this might be an unfounded warning, but for me personally, maybe I'm just a soy boy. Is that what people say
I have no idea what
nowadays?
you're going for, but I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, maybe I'm just a soy boy,
A soy
but
boy.
I'm gonna wait a little bit to see that just because I don't trust people. And even though supposedly the film is not a political division necessarily, it's not explicitly stated these are conservatives, these are liberals.
Mhm.
The president, they asked Nick Offerman, like, oh, were you like channeling Trump? He was like, no, I wasn't. That never crossed my mind.
Mhm.
But people still might respond to that as or take it as a threat,
Yeah. Well, if they
which
like
not
go and
good.
see it, or even see parts of it, and then I guess project themselves onto certain characters that are then
Oh yeah, this is
treated
going to be
poorly
a
and stuff like that,
very
then they will take it defensively.
I imagine this will be a controversial movie. Did you ever watch The Hunt?
No,
It came
apparently I
out.
need to watch more movies. Is that the one with like man, they're hunting people
I mean, yes. It's what's
with
that?
what's her face?
You haven't seen Glow, have you? She's in
No,
Glow.
I
But
think I know
it's
who you're
in
talking about.
Glenn Howerton's in it. It's about
Glenn
liberals hunting
Howerton.
conservatives.
Ah, she's the nun in Mrs. Davis. That's how I know her.
That's that. I knew you knew her from something. But yeah, it's
Okay.
about liberals hunting conservatives, and the reason is because like this is kind of a spoiler. Should I still say it?
That's fine. I probably wasn't gonna watch it.
These like high class, highfalutin, rich liberal people made a joke about, oh, this weekend we're going to the camp and we're going to hunt conservatives. Then the data got leaked. People saw those texts, assumed it was real. So all those people lost their jobs, became like social pariahs, things like that.
Mhm.
And so the group of people were like, well, I guess we'll just do it. And so they do it.
That makes no sense.
I know, right? But good. And that was pretty controversial.
Yeah, that's fair. You're
And I
hunting
imagine
people.
Civil War would probably be the same, but I don't know. And my final note, would you recommend it? Because I don't think I would anymore.
Oh, there's maybe like my friend Sid. Maybe I'd tell him.
Okay, why
Sid. Well, he's also a
Because he likes
CS
shit
person.
content? Oh,
And I think he might have started it already and then
yeah.
stopped. But
I don't know.
I feel like he'd enjoy kind of the same as us, where like aspects of it and then not the entire show.
I think it's fine. It's satisfactory, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't when I recommended it to you, I recommended it very highly,
Mhm.
given what I had seen so far. At this point, I'd be like, well, if you like have a spare week and you don't have anything else to watch, like it's interesting. It's pretty decently solid kind of real world sci-fi.
Yeah. And that was interesting. Where would you put it on your list
Oh, I
of
think
rankings
it's
for the year?
second to last right now.
What is last? Isn't it True Detective? No, True Detective was second to last or something.
Echo is, and I liked Echo. I think Echo's fine. We did a whole episode on it that I didn't upload. I don't know why. I think we were like we had a backlog. So I'll save that for a
Okay.
week where we can't upload something. It'll just be a really outdated episode. But I mean, I like Devs. It's good-ish. But no, Echo I think is my least favorite show, even though I think it's like average to better than average, you know?
Yeah.
It's
I think
what it
the only
is.
thing
I
I have
think it
below Echo is What If Season 2.
yeah. That wasn't spectacular. But in terms of Marvel animation segue time, let's talk about X-Men 97.
God,
You
it is great.
Yeah, you texted me yesterday asking if I had seen it, and then immediately our friend of the show, friend of us in real life, Dustin, texted me as well saying, "Have you seen this episode yet?" And I was like, "No." And we talked about it for a while, me and Dustin, and then me and Rhys as well. And I asked him if he had anything he wanted me to like, what his review was for the show,
Mhm.
like some thoughts that he would want to bring up. He said, 10 out of 10 episode, probably one of the best things Marvel has put out in a long time, if I'm being honest. Also, as soon as I saw Cable and the Watcher, I knew something bad was about to go down.
Mhm.
which, yeah. And you told me that it was better than everything in Invincible season 2.
I did, and I stand by
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I think that's a fair judgment. I don't know if I agree with it because I was pretty underwhelmed for the first half of the episode because I had two people telling me how great the episode was.
Yeah, that's kind of I was in the same boat going into it where I was like, oh, there hasn't been action in a while. Like this
Right.
is interesting. It's insanely well animated, but
I
nothing's really
really
going
love
on.
seeing all the various mutant cameos. We had a
Hmm.
lot of deep cuts in there.
Yeah.
I think my favorite cameo or like X-Men or mutant that showed up on Genosha that got maybe 3 seconds of screen time was Multiple Man. Are you familiar with him?
I know what Multiple Man. I know him from the Marvel Picture Find.
He's in X-Men 3. At
Okay.
one point, he's locked up in a truck. They let him out, and he's like, well, hey, he's like, it's me. It's really great. But Multiple Man is basically duplicate from Invincible.
Yeah.
But what they do with his character in the comics, I don't know if this is specifically like his main character trait, but I know they have done this where he sends duplicates of himself across the world, right? To go learn
Hmm.
like martial arts or I don't know, basketball. And when they come back to when they rejoin, he has all those skills.
That's really cool, actually. That
Yeah.
would
So
make
there's
sense, I
like a
feel like.
series where there's just a bunch of multiple men across the world learning shit. And then, or it's like multiple man's in a position where he's like about to get killed and then one shows up and steps into him and now he can do karate. So they were talking about making a multiple man movie for a long time with like James Franco. Would have worked really well, I think. Would have
Okay.
watched that at least twice.
What about 3 times?
Maybe if I had the time, which we know
Four?
I don't. Maybe when I'm old, I can watch it a
What
fourth
about
time.
five? What's your cutoff? When would you not watch it? Like six,
I
seven?
guess when I'm dead, I won't watch it then. So
You
as
heard
many
it here,
times as
folks.
I
Rand
can,
would watch it until he dies.
yes, I would. But yeah, I mean, it was fun to see Genosha.
Hmm.
They kind of, having just read House of X, Powers of X, and I've read the Genosha storyline where
Hmm.
this happens. I sent the photo of the baby punching another baby to Dustin, and he texted absolute savagery. What was I saying? I read the Genosha
Yeah.
storyline, but Genosha has a lot of similarities to Krakoa. And on Krakoa, they have like the ball, the dance ball that they have in the
Oh,
show,
yeah, yeah.
and that like concert that Dazzler does.
I was
That's
wondering if that was
all.
Dazzler.
I think it's Dazzler. She's not
Okay.
blonde. I think Dazzler is typically blonde, but I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Dazzler.
Okay.
But yeah, that's on Krakoa. They do that. So there's similarities there. What do you think of the episode though? Anything you want to bring up?
I don't even know where to start, I feel like. Because it was like I was saying, it was so unsuspecting, I guess,
Do you
for the
think it was
first half of
rushed?
it. I think they needed to rush it.
Yeah, for the
Because
shock
again,
value?
it came out of nowhere, and I think that added to it a lot. Because all of a sudden, like you have like a solid episode, like nothing's really happening, and
Right.
then you have like
It's probably 10 minutes at the most.
yeah, and you have like an incredible score just out of nowhere to like
Right.
go with all the chaos. You have all the chaos going on. You have people like
Yeah.
constantly jumping around. You have people like dying that you would not have expected.
Right. I fucking love Nightcrawler, man. He's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I? I feel like after I finished, I'm like, I thought to myself, was that rushed? Because the actual decimation of Genosha didn't take very long.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, well, maybe they could have ended the episode, like have a very low key episode with the ball and whatever the UN stuff, end it with an explosion. Next episode is the entire Genosha massacre. But
That should probably would have worked too.
I think you're right that the fact it comes out of nowhere and happens quickly is a lot more suspenseful and like
Hmm.
intense to see, like, because I mean, I've never experienced something like that,
Hmm.
but I imagine it's very quick.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's Sentinel was huge.
oh yeah, the Wild Sentinel, I think,
Yeah.
is what they called it. That's in the comics. The Wild Sentinel's in the comics. This isn't a spoiler for you, but they're not. That one does show up when they attack Genosha, the one that we see in the show, the like
Hmm.
three-headed one. But the Wild Sentinels are just basically a master mold is creating weird sentinels. So some of them just look like little robots. Some of them are like really tiny and get into your blood, things like that. So they're just doing everything.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, that was good design for a Sentinel, I
Yeah, it was
thought.
really cool.
Yeah. I loved when Magneto, when he was fighting it, grabbed a train and started using the train as a whip.
Yeah, just started bitch slapping him with the train.
I don't think have we seen that in any live action version where instead of just like throwing something metal, he uses it as a weapon. like a sword or a whip or a thing like that?
I'm
Because I'm like, that's a great
probably
idea.
maybe for like a little bit. I
Right.
haven't seen any of the other animated stuff for X-Men, so I'm sure it's happened in that, but I don't know if
Yeah.
it's happened in live action at all.
I don't think it has. Because if Magneto's just a guy. Like he's a pretty muscular old man, but he's just like a
Mhm.
normal sized dude. If he was fighting something giant, he would have to use things like that. And it's more visually interesting, in my opinion, than just throwing shards at people.
Yeah.
What do you think of Magneto? What do you think of his
I liked him a
glorious
lot
hair?
in this. He was like he's obviously always a compelling character, but like I feel like in the live action X-Men movies, he's really old and doesn't do much because he's really old. And
Yeah.
then in the other one, like he's cool in like Days of Future Past and stuff. In
I
this one,
think,
he's just a like you said, he's a ripped old man,
yeah, great
insanely
hair,
good hair.
giant
Yeah,
hair.
yeah. Looks amazing, is kicking ass,
Yeah.
and like is
I
doing
think
so much.
I think it's good that they can't do that live action. There are very few old men who look like that,
Yeah.
and even fewer still that can act, you know?
Just give what's his name?
Ian McKellen,
No, J.K.
J.K.
Simmons.
Simmons.
Yeah, give him a wig and he's set. That he
That's
is great.
actually good. That's not bad.
Like I
But
think he'd work well in
I
anything.
wrote this note. It was a question that I don't think you know the answer to because I think I know the answer to, but I was supposed to research it, but I forgot.
Okay.
Does Magneto age? I mean, he does,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
I think he might have. In the comics, Nick Fury has an Infinity Serum, which means he doesn't age at the same rate as normal people, so he can
Oh,
live
so
for longer.
slower.
Yeah. And so I think Magneto might have that. In the show, I'm not sure it's a plot point because, well, I mean, he looks the same when they flash back to when he fell in love with Rogue initially.
That seems like
Uh,
a huge age gap.
That's what I was thinking, but then I'm like, yeah, but what are your thoughts on Wolverine and Jean?
No, like
Because,
it works fine, especially because I mean I don't know how old Rook was at the time, but the fact that he's the only one she can physically interact with like makes
yeah,
sense.
I get the
Yeah.
appeal there, even if the age difference is a little bit strange. But again, I'm sure some people ship Wolverine and Jean, and he's 300 years old and she's 25 or whatever. So that's a little bit weird too, I'd say.
Would you
But
sorry, did you have more to the question you asked?
what question did I ask? Oh, does Magneto age? I'm not sure for sure.
Okay.
But I think there's a chance he does. Also, in House of X, Powers of X, I told you about how in Powers of X they show like year 0, year 10, year 100, year 1,000. And
hmm
Magneto's around for almost all of it. So I think he has something that keeps him from like aging and dying. But I could be wrong.
Maybe he's just that
I
fit.
mean, there's probably some comic excuse where it's magnetism.
Like he does yoga at the beginning or so, every morning.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yoga in the morning, Pilates at night, and then he's just set.
Yeah, great hair too. Lots of biotin, lots of vitamin B3,
Lots of creatine.
lots of keratin.
But I was gonna ask, do you think that Cyclops having a conversation with Madeline Pryor counts as cheating?
No. Well, it
But
depends on what the
like that,
conversation's
what they were
about.
doing, because like she was mad because that was, as she said, that was her
Their
and
thing,
yeah,
right?
that was their thing, and they were like, I assumed they didn't kissed and stuff in the head. I don't remember. That sounded gross.
What do you mean they kiss in the head? Like the
And because it was all in his
astral,
head, right?
yeah, like the astral plane version?
Yeah, when he was like in his room and then they were talking.
Yeah.
I think they
Who
kissed
kissed? Gene and Scott or Scott and Madeline?
Scott and
I
Madeline.
mean, they probably
And then
did.
it
I don't know.
ended, and then she was like, "How dare you?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't, it's kind of cheating, but at the same time, how I kind of read that is Gene just kissed Wolverine.
Yeah, like what the
And I
hell?
think and I think she's feeling guilty about that, and so she's not sure how to handle it. So when she sees Scott doing that, she over kind of reacts. Even
Okay.
though I think it's a little bit justified to, well, I don't know, it's complicated
Yeah,
because
it's very complicated,
there
but
has
that
never in existence been a situation where your partner married and had a child with your clone. And then your clone found out and left and assumed a new identity. The child disappeared to the future, and then you're now worried about your partner cheating on you with your clone. So it's complicated, I'd say.
yeah, it's insanely complicated. And I feel like
Yeah.
it works if they just have like Jean go with Wolverine
Right. You texted me a few
and
weeks
then
ago that,
Scott with Madeline.
I mean, Scott and Madeline do get together in the comics at one point, but I think Jean Grey is dead. And I think it also, Scott only let it happen after he knew for sure that Madeline Pryor was not Jean, because they do look identical in the comics as well. She is a
hmm
clone, but Scott had to be sure, like, And I think Madeline had to be sure too that like, okay, this isn't just because I look like your dead ex.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. In the comics, in a certain comic run, New X-Men by Grant Morrison, I think, from like 2001.
Okay.
A lot of similarities to the show. There is the one similar plot point is Scott and Jean are kind of on the outs, or they're having a turbulent part of their marriage. And then Jean kisses Wolverine, and the Wolverine says, no, no, no. And then he leaves, and then they talk it out. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Wolverine, what a homie. What a
Yeah, what a
stand-up
good
guy.
guy. You know what I love? I want to
Wolverine.
see this. I do love Wolverine. I want to see this in the live action when they redo the mutants. Wolverine and Cyclops are a good buddy duo.
Yeah.
They've got some conflict. They've got some aggression towards each other. But like in a lot of the comics, that new X-Men run I was just talking about, they're pretty much like partners. Not
Mhm.
romantically, but like when they're doing mission stuff, they're together. And they shit talk to each other's faces while they're doing missions. But at the end of the day, they care a lot about each other, and like they've got each other's backs, even though they both know that they're in love with Jean.
Mhm.
So I want to see that.
Yeah, that would be cool. And just having Cyclops as a better character.
Yeah, I don't
would
know.
like that
Who do you
too.
think is better for Jean? Who do you ship?
I am sure Cyclops is better for Jean.
I mean, yes.
Just because, no offense to Wolverine, he's really old. He's lived through a lot,
Yeah.
but he also is a much angrier person a lot of the time.
He's
Not the
not
stereotype Wolverine, but
he's not necessarily consistent as a partner. And also
yeah.
odds are that he'd kill you. I think that I'd constantly have that fear. But when I was a kid, I hated Cyclops mostly because of the live action version, and I was like, I want Wolverine to get with Jean. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, it's better. Scott and Jean are better for each other,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I don't know much about Jean, so that kind of is something I can't completely say. Where I'm
Right.
like, oh, they work better together, they have better chemistry. Because I really have only seen them together in this show because I'm not familiar. Like I barely remember the original X-Men trilogy.
In the comic run that I was reading, Wolverine's response to Jean when she kissed him, or before even, he says, like, you two have always been perfect for each other. Like these, I think he says, like, happy dappy do-gooders, like making the world a better place. Because Wolverine's
Mhm.
not like that. Like, he definitely tries to make the world a better place, but he's not driven by this great moral drive to improve everything.
Mhm.
Wolverine's pretty not complacent necessarily, but he's accepted the world he lives in. He's accepted the hardships of mutants. He doesn't like it, but he's like, this is just how it is. He's more, I don't know, just, yeah, complacent, I guess. And Jean and Scott are both very much the opposite of that. They want things to get better. They want to do good. They want to improve the world in the best way they can.
Mhm.
So that's why I think they're better for each other.
I
Then agree with you.
Yeah.
Again, I can't say too much about it, but that'll make sense.
Even though I don't like Cyclops, people always say, like, the movies did Cyclops dirty, like he's so great in the comics. I still don't like him in the comics. He's fine.
Yeah,
But
I liked him because he was cool. I always
he
thought
is
he was
cool.
a cool
He's
character
cool as
growing
shit.
up. That was kind of my main
Yeah.
appeal.
I don't think people are saying Henry Cavill might be cast as Cyclops. One of the common nicknames for Cyclops from the Marvel Universe is Slim.
Slim
Wolverine
Shady.
calls him Slim. The Thing calls him Slim. So I'm like, you gotta cast someone slim, like me.
Yeah,
Make me
not
Cyclops.
Rand for Cyclops 2024.
2028.
8.
I'll build to it. But remember how in our X-Men Destiny video, we talked about how one of your favorites is Gambit, and I was like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we fought Gambit a bunch in that video, I was like, Gambit's an idiot and he sucks. I was actually lying that whole time. Gambit's one of my favorite characters, obviously. And
Gambit's awesome. He's so
if you
cool.
disagree, this episode, he's pretty cool, you know?
Pretty sick dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like him now. I didn't
he was-
dislike him before, but I was like, this is a really good portrayal of Gambit, specifically in this episode.
Mhm. And he was another character where growing up, I barely knew him. I just thought this guy's awesome. And so I
Yeah.
liked him because I guess that's just what you do as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I thought
But-
he was super cool in X-Men Origins Wolverine. I don't know if he was cool in that movie, but I thought, I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, this guy.
I mean,
Love
his
him.
powers are just really cool. And he has a sick staff. He has a sick design. I feel
Yeah.
like that's his biggest appeal. But
I don't know. I don't like the sock mask thing. It's kind of stupid looking.
you don't like that?
I
love
mean,
it.
when I was a kid, I probably liked it, but when he's running around in his costume, He's got that weird sock mask. I'm like, this is kind of, he's like talking all suave and he's like a cool dude. I'm like, you're not a cool dude though. Look at what you're wearing. Like no one in the X-Men world, like the costumes are cool, but like they're not dressed cool. But Gambit looks like he's trying to dress cool. He's trying to act
Mhm.
cool, but I'm like, yeah, but look at the mask you have over your head. Why, what is that? Did you make that? You clearly made
Yeah,
that
he
from
made it.
scratch. You did a little craft day
Yeah, and he
and
put a lot of work into it. What do you have against that?
but then
That's
when he took
do it
off the
yourself.
costume and he dressed up in that nice white suit and his like ponytail and stuff, and he was being all charming, I'm like, oh, he is charming. So I think it is mostly the sock mask for me. Also, I guess Jean, because Cable has shown up in this show before, not in X-Men 97, but he's
In the
in the
older
first
X-Men?
season. Yeah, he's in the
Okay.
first season at some point. I saw a list of all his appearances in the original X-Men the animated series. I guess no one knew what his name was. They just knew him as Cable.
Yeah, and
Because
maybe
Jean
so
realized in that moment, like, or Madeline Pryor, I guess, realized in that moment, like, oh my God, it's you, my son.
that is interesting. I guess she did say Cable when she saw him and then was like, "Oh."
Right. So I guess no one knew. I don't know if that's, I wonder, I don't know about that in the comics, if they know that Cable is their kid. He knows, obviously,
Yeah.
but
And maybe he
yeah.
just never was like, "Mom, Dad," when he saw them in the past. Or maybe he didn't know if it was Madeline Pryor or Jean Grey when he saw them
Oh yeah, I guess
before.
he doesn't
So
know.
he didn't know if that was his mom or not. And then obviously he would know Cyclops is
It's a dad,
the father, the
a
daddy.
big daddy.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know.
But
I like seeing Cable. I like how he shows up and he's like, fucking, we gotta run.
yeah,
Then
he
he
was there for
disappears.
5 seconds and then
Yeah.
booked it and
And he
then
says something like, he is coming. And then
gross.
the Madeline Pryor is like, dude, not appropriate. Go to your room. And then he body slides away to his room, presumably.
I do
But
find it interesting. She knew it was her kid exclusively because of the eyes,
yeah,
as if no one else has brown eyes.
as if you wouldn't mind raid that guy immediately.
Yeah.
That guy shows up. You're like, that guy came from the future. He claims he's from the future. Just read his mind. Maybe they
hmm
can't. I don't know. But yeah,
No, but
great,
I
great
guess
episode.
to throw in some spoilers for people, so skip
Oh,
to some
we've
point.
spoiled some stuff, I think.
Well, yeah, but I was going to spoil like the end part.
Oh, the
So
very
we
final.
lose two very surprise. You lose actually. I think you lose Madeline prior to spoilers. I think she dies. They show like two people laying on the ground at one point,
Yeah,
and
I
I think
think
one
you're
of them was
right.
Madeline Pryor.
Yeah.
But you lose Magneto, which was surprising as hell
Magnet.
because I figured he could just hold that bubble forever. I'm gonna be honest.
I should have looked into this, but I don't understand why you can't just disassemble the Sentinels because they're metal.
Maybe they make it not metal specifically because of Magneto.
Yeah, or they have some way to counteract it. I know Sentinels are adaptive,
hmm
especially the Wild Sentinels. They change to better take out mutant threats. But yeah, they take out Magneto. They're like, oh, an Omega level mutant, and then
Yeah, and it's kind of
even though, hold on, you
it
keep
makes
talking.
sense how it makes sense how it goes down because well, I feel like Magneto could have survived. He chose to save others of his kind. Like that's what he was trying to do, and that's what took him out. Obviously, he failed miserably. Sorry, man.
Yeah,
But
and then
he like
Leech.
that's what yeah, Leech.
Leech dies. That's the second big loss that we have that Rhys was referring to.
Of course, Leech is one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters. So they that one I was very surprised by, and then I figured it would just be the end, and then or at least I thought maybe it would be Rogue because she was obviously pissed and was gonna go like fly directly at the thing.
Yeah. But then we get a really cool scene
Yeah, of
with
Gambit jumping 500 feet into the air somehow.
I don't know, mutants can do I mean maybe he supercharged the ground for his feet and then jumped
I don't know, it
using
was
the energy.
cool, but he somehow ended up at the head of the Sentinel, and
And then he gets
just
stabbed.
yeah, and that was like I don't know if this is just dark of me, but I really loved how he moved after he got stabbed.
Like how
Like
he like
they
slid a little bit. I
Yeah,
don't know
and
if
then they
he's
like dragged him in front of the face, and
yeah.
you can see him like wiggling as it happens because he's obviously like limp. And I was like, that was such like I don't want to say cool, but I liked
Right.
how they animated it because it made
And then he's
sense and it kind of added to
supercharged.
the moment. Yeah,
And he supercharged the thing that stabbed him, then the entire Wild Sentinel, and then blew it up. Which could he always do that? Could he just walk up to the Sentinel, touch it, supercharge it, and then do that?
I don't know.
Like I don't see why not, right?
Yeah, I don't know maybe because it was inside of him, and then he could use his entire body to do it
Oh,
instead of like,
yeah, his insides.
yeah, he could do it with his heart.
Do you want to hear what technically is, or what is the technical definition of an Omega level mutant?
Mhm.
Okay. It is a mutant whose dominant power is deemed to register or reach an undefinable upper limit of that power's specific classification. So, Magneto is with magnetism. Essentially, that specific power, he has an unreachable limit or an unending limit, unlimited.
Okay, you just do anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is no way that someone can have that power and have more of it than him.
Okay.
And certain Omega level mutants, like Jean Grey, has both telepathy and telekinesis. She's only a Omega level telepath.
Okay.
She's not Omega level telekinesis, according to House of X or Powers of X, wherever I stole this from, this chart. And they just defined it as like, hold on. It's not just the most powerful version of that power type. Like, because they described Forge as he is, with his power, the most powerful. He's got the most ability in his power type of being able to build anything he can conceive. But he's not Omega level because there are people on Earth, other heroes, who have surpassed his skill in that regard.
Okay.
Like Reed Richards, I think, I assume at least, Tony Stark, I assume. And it's because they can, I guess, conceive more than he can, so they can build more than he can. Because
Which
Forge
is
can
surprising,
build
like,
anything he can think of, but
how
he
is that
is,
even a superpower? That's just being smart.
yeah. I guess it's you. I imagine if we were to see a diagram of what goes on in his head, he pictures something and then he like mechanically deconstructs it.
Yeah.
And like he like logically knows exactly the parts and the order of which to build something,
Mhm.
but he is limited by his conceptual ability. But yeah, Magneto's power cannot be surpassed in any measurable fashion.
I'm
So
not surprised by that.
yeah. And I was wondering if Gambit is also Omega level. Apparently he's not, according to this list, unless
Is
he's
there
not
other
on the
people
list because he's
who
dead.
supercharge?
I can look at the list and see if there's one. We have reality manipulation on the quantum level, temperature manipulation towards the negative way, biokinesis,
The
telepathy
Iceman?
for the temperature one. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want me to tell you who they are? Jamie Braddock
Yes.
is reality manipulation. I don't know. Braddock is Captain Britain, but I don't think it's the same one. I don't know if his name's Jamie. And he doesn't go by Monarch. Elixir, biokinesis. Jean Grey, telepathy, Legion, power manifestation. He can manifest new powers.
Oh.
Magneto for magnetism. Proteus for reality manipulation on a psionic level.
Okay.
Mr. M, matter manipulation. Storm, weather manipulation. Exodus, telekinesis. Kid Omega, which is Quentin Quire, telepathy.
I know Gordon Choir.
Yes, you should. Powerhouse, which is Franklin Richards. Reality manipulation on a universal level.
Okay.
He's the only human on this list. Or I guess the only one whose alliance is with a human. Gabriel Summers, Vulcan, energy manipulation. Hope Summers, power manipulation. So that is
Summers.
all of the Omega level mutants listed in House of X, Powers of X.
I
Do you
would
want?
expect Professor X to be on there, but I guess Jean Grey takes the cake.
I don't know. In a lot of comics, they refer to him as the most powerful telepath in
Yeah.
the history of all. Did you know that one of those babies in that photo I sent you is Professor X?
Is it actually?
It is.
Is he the one
There's-
getting punched?
Yeah, the follow-up scene is, I'll send it to you. His telepathy activates and he kills the other baby.
What?
Yeah, I can explain that in a second. So, again, in House of X, Powers of X, they gave a chart of mutant extinction events. There are kind of three specific mutant events, or two specific mutant events. There's a bunch of them that really destroyed. Are you looking at it? What a funny
Look at him
comic that was.
choking a baby with an umbilical cord. That's so sad.
In the X-Men continuity, there are two specific events that really wiped out a large portion of the mutant population.
Mhm.
One of which is called Decimation, or M-Day, I think, which is
Okay.
when Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch said no more mutants. That
Okay.
took out,
All of
it
them.
depowered 1,000,000 mutants. But that happened after the Genosha Massacre, which took out, canonically in the comics, 16.5 million mutants.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's how many they're going to say were killed in the show.
Imagine that happening in one night.
Right.
Like that'd be if they
Be-
have
I mean-
the show. That'd be horrifying.
It happens in one night in the comics.
Oh, it does.
Name it, it's one day at least. I don't know if
I
it
mean,
was
I guess
nighttime.
again, the Sentinel is huge. Regardless, it's
Yeah,
horrifying, but like that is insane.
yeah. And that's why Wanda didn't take out that many because there weren't very many left.
Okay.
And then after Wanda, how many mutants do you think were left in the world? Because there were some,
Just Wanda.
200. Well, 198. So more than you expected. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the baby thing. Don't want me to tell you about that?
Yeah.
So you remember in the when we talked about the trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, there's that
Mhm.
bald person and we looked at their ears for a while. Remember that?
I do.
I think we mentioned, or I mentioned that people are assuming that it's Professor X's sister, and I think I said in the episode like, what stupid. Like there's no way it is. It probably is. Because Professor X has a twin sister named Cassandra Nova, who
Okay.
tried to kill him in the womb, and then he killed her. But then she lived on somehow, eventually came back in an identical body of Professor X, and just fucked with a bunch of stuff. And
Comics are
I'm gonna
awesome. Makes so much sense.
makes what?
Comics are just awesome. They make so much sense.
They do. Hold on. Let me see if I can share the screen. I'll just send this to you. And there are two images of Cassandra Nova in the comics that look identical to that frame of. I only have one on my phone. The other's on my iPad because I guess it didn't sync. Oh, it did sync. They look identical to that frame from Deadpool and Wolverine. And there's an actor, Emma Corrin. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think that's her name. Let me check.
Oh yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah, right? And I just want to clarify that I was joking. Obviously, I knew that all along. But yeah, Emma Corrin, who's from The Crown, she played Princess Diana, and she's in A Murder at the End of the World, that show that I've mentioned, is in Deadpool 3 in an undisclosed role. I think she's Cassandra
Wait,
Nova.
who?
Emma Corrin,
Emma Corrin.
Corrin.
Ah, yeah, she's the head shape.
And her ears look like those ears. I did a
Yeah.
little comparison.
Side
And
to
that she
side. Pixel
Yeah,
to
and
pixel.
she's listed as Cassandra Nova in the credits. I don't know if that's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Cool.
Her character is one of the biggest mutant threats. She is fucking terrifying.
Like four mutants or four humans?
For herself. She
Okay.
is trying to take out. So the comic where she's introduced, I think where she's introduced, they find out that she's not quite a mutant. She's something else entirely. She's not a human. She is another stage of evolution for humans. And
Oh,
so
wow.
she's threatened by mutants. And
So
they
that's why she's
argue
able
that
to fight someone in the womb.
yeah. What was I saying? Shit. Oh yeah, so they say that evolutionarily, whenever a new species emerges, there's something biologically ingrained within them to be competitive to take out the other species.
Mhm.
And so she really hates mutantdom. She does a bunch of stuff to kill all mutants. And then there's also the Shi'ar in Marvel. Remember Lilandra?
Shi'ar.
Yeah, they're in
Little
Ultimate Alliance.
Lilandra. Shi'ar. Let me look it up.
Lilandra.
Lilandra.
You'll recognize her because she has a triangle hat.
It's not Little Andra.
I mean, it's spelled the same, but yes, it's not. They're an alien race that the X-Men get along with.
Let me pull up
Sometimes.
It just shows me the Watcher.
Oh, that's weird. But
Wait, which part is she? Lilandra Neramani?
we go to her. We find her on a ship somewhere.
Is that the Cyclops? Not Cyclops. Galactus level?
What?
When we're in space?
Oh,
in
maybe.
Ultimate Alliance?
It's the scroll level, I think.
Okay,
I think
I
we're
think those
on
are the
her.
same
She's
one.
on our side. Do you need me to pull it up?
I've pulled it up.
You just don't recognize her?
No.
Anyway.
It's been a while since we played, but yeah.
The Shi'ar I don't think we've seen them in the MCU. I imagine Fox owned them because they're typically they're typically associated with the X-Men. You know Gladiator, is that his name?
From the Marvel Picture Fund.
The purple guy with the mohawk who is Superman, who gets more powerful the more confident he is. He's like the head bodyguard. That's probably reductive, but he's like Lilandra's like first mate.
Little Andra.
Yeah. There's some Shi'ar shit. Hold on. I saved the link. Da, 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 da.
Also, I sent that the baby picture to my friends who are twins.
Carter and Colby?
Yeah.
What do they say? Can they use their phones right now?
Can they?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would they not be able to?
Because they're Mormons. There was a while where they couldn't use their phones.
Well, yeah, they were on their mission. They're not on their mission anymore.
I don't know how Mormonism works. I'm sorry, okay?
No, but they just asked who's who.
That's for them to decide, I feel.
I'm gonna tell them, remember.
Remember who you are. Hold on, I need to find this. Okay, here we go. So I told you about how they fought in the womb, right?
Yeah.
She may technically not have ever been real. Uh, in the
What is going
Shi'ar,
on?
what?
What is going on?
Dude, X-Men comics are crazy. They do some weird shit.
Clearly.
In the Shi'ar have a term for anti-self, which is Mummadrai. I'm probably
Okay.
saying that wrong, but
Mummadrai, little
they
ant.
exist in the astral plane, and essentially everyone has this in the womb, where a good version of yourself and a bad version of yourself fight for control, and whichever survives. What'd you look up?
Oh, I'm laughing at what you just said.
Oh, and so everyone does that weird baby fight
Oh
with
my God.
themselves, but she survived.
She's just that cracked.
Yeah. She okay, hold on. Surviving undetected for years as a growing mass of cells in a sewer wall. The fuck does that mean? How did she get to a sewer?
Who thought of this?
I don't know. I can find out probably. But yeah, she meticulously crafted a new body for herself, fueled by a burning desire for revenge against her brother. And Hank, what's his name?
You are
McCoy.
cells. You don't remember shit.
I mean, she's like a different kind of thing, evolutionary
She's a
thing.
different breed.
Yeah. The X-Men realize in the story arc that the only like Cassandra Nova's experience doesn't feel real to her. The only thing that she believes is real is Charles. So, despite the fact that she's in the world wreaking havoc on stuff, she still believes that her and Charles are still in the womb together, fighting for control or something like
Oh.
that.
Actually, I like that part. The rest of it's weird as hell, but
No,
that
it's
I can
super
understand
cool.
that. That's a cool touch.
And she's got fucking crazy powers. Like, I don't understand what they are yet, but I'm gonna find out real quick on marveldatabase.com. Powers. Where do I find powers?
How was?
I don't know. She's also a telepath, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
She has nascent psychic abilities. Wait, no, Charles had nascent psychic abilities, and that's how he killed her.
Did he just like what'd he do? He thought into her head and was like, die, and then she
Yeah,
just
I think he
exploded
killed
or
her with
something.
psychic powers. Also, or he just turned her off, which they could do. There's a scene in this comic run where Jean Grey is being faced by the U-Men, Sublime's
yeah.
friends.
Good reference to Oh, when you said Sublime and Hotch,
Hodge, yeah.
I straight up thought you were talking about the band Sublime and some other thing Hotch. I forgot about that.
Yeah, when she's fighting some of the U-Men, because Jean Grey has telepathy but also telekinesis. Remember that scene in Rick and Morty where Summer's invisible and the bug aliens, what are their names? Can't remember. Are like, can you stop her hearts? And they're like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I guess someone with telekinesis could do that. But Jean Grey is just showing these people how powerful she is.
Mhm.
And what she does is she sends the food in their stomachs up through their mouth and then down through the other half of their body just to be like, look what I can do. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy, man. This is fascinating. Cassandra
And that-
Novus does something called the Black Bug Room. Oh, here we go. Attributes. Intelligence. What would you guess?
5.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 3. Strength.
Oh, I did not know it was a scale of 1 to 5. 2.
1. Speed.
4.
2. Durability.
4.
Yeah, she's got a healing factor. Which doesn't make her durable. She's resilient, I guess. Energy projection.
5?
Yeah. Fighting
Okay.
skills.
Well, she's a terrible baby fighter, so I'm
I
gonna
know
say
she's one of the worst. It is one, yeah. She has telepathy comparable to Xavier. She copies DNA. She has DNA duplication. So at one point she copies someone's DNA like entirely. She can phase. She can selectively evolve existing genetic traits. Regeneration.
You think she could be Martian Manhunter in a fight?
Maybe. She's weird. And do you want to know her weaknesses? There's only one listed.
Is it Professor X?
No, it says Magneto's helmet. That's it. Yeah.
So like she can't she has the same issue as Professor X where she can't read through it?
Yeah.
Or like if she puts the helmet on, she like melts.
I mean, she won't melt. She'll probably not be able to. I guess you wouldn't be able to use telepathy if that helmet was on your head, would you?
No, probably not. What if they
Yeah.
just put on a shit ton of blue and then just threw it on Professor X's head?
That's genius. Anyway, do you think she's going to be the villain in Deadpool and Wolverine?
I would laugh
I mean, based
so
on that-
hard if we get to see a live action baby fight.
I think they do it. There's a chance Ryan Reynolds
I
will
would.
probably push for it. That'd
Ryan
be
Reynolds
so
would push
fucking
for it.
funny.
I would love that, and that
And that could
would.
explain. Oh, go
I
ahead.
would say then I would love for her to be the villain in Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm fine with it anyway, but that would
Right.
that's my one requirement.
I think it would be because the TVA in Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a different TVA.
Mhm.
Maybe, and this is, I don't know, this might be derivative of Loki, but maybe they pruned Cassandra Nova and that's why she's upset. Just like how they pruned Sylvie and she
Oh,
hated it.
maybe she
Because she was destined to be this, she's a mistake,
mhm.
according to the TVA. And
Like
so
she
that's
won the
why she
fight.
wants, yeah.
She won the baby fight,
If
and
they
then
even
had
did the
to
baby fight, maybe he just got born as a Cassandra Nova, I guess.
baby.
But I don't know. Oh yeah, so maybe she's on that. What's that place called? The Loki world after you get pruned?
Is it just called the end of all time?
Maybe.
End
I
of
think
end of time, not all
yeah.
time.
There might be a name for it, but she's
I
just
remember
on
the
there and
monster thing had a name.
she's wreaking havoc because she hates it and she's trying to destroy all of the X-Men timelines. And I guess Wolverine and Deadpool are gonna have to stop her. And maybe she'll be the new big bad. What if she replaces Kang?
That would be cool. I would
What
love
if
to see baby.
in Avengers 5 it's the Baby Dynasty and it opens on that fight with Cassandra Nova?
No, I just want a really serious scene of Professor
Fuck-
X coming into they see each other and they're talking, and then he uses his telepathy to show her something, and what he
Yeah.
shows her is just them fighting as a baby.
I love the determination on the face of Cassandra Nova when she punches Professor X.
She looks pissed.
She's so determined to beat up this other baby. And then the other
next one,
baby.
they are choking him out with an umbilical cord. That's so dark.
Then Professor X wakes up and then destroys her telepathically.
Yeah. What do you think it
Wow.
felt like for the mom to have her babies beating each other up? Because
I mean, I
they
sent
not
you that
twins
photo,
then?
right?
Or is that like a
I don't know. It's either that they're twins and he killed her in the womb, but in defense.
Mhm.
It was self-defense, or it's the Mummadrai thing where everyone does a baby fight, and if you win, you're good. If you lose, you're the bad version.
Wait, but
I don't know.
how would you know though?
What do you mean?
Because if the bad version wins, they are the one that won. So then they're the
Then that's
bad
how I
version.
guess they explain villains. Not that people just are, conditioned. They have a horrible upbringing or something and they become a villain.
No, it's evil baby won the
You were
fight.
when you're in the womb, you fought an evil version of yourself and you lost. So you have to be the vulture. I don't know. Which do you prefer, the Mummadrai thing
Mummadrai thing. That's funny.
or the fact that just two babies fought in the womb?
Actually, I do think the idea of two twins beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
It's what
You
the
know what it
Mummadrai
reminds
thing
me
is
of?
also hilarious.
It reminds me of when Winston and Meek fight. It's just determination. And it seems to come out of nowhere. Or I don't know if you ever experienced this when we worked at the doggy daycare, but a
Mhm.
dog that you just walk by and it bites you for no reason. It's what are you thinking? What is
When I
going
got bit, it looked like I saw the anger and
Oh, yeah.
determination.
Was it
it's
a
funny.
Ryan?
It was a Ryan.
Yeah.
Not
But
to
the
name
other
drop the
baby
dog.
doesn't know what the fuck is happening. Professor
baby's
X is so
asleep.
confused. Yeah. And it's just what do you like
Oh my
better,
God.
that photo or the baby Darkseid photo? The baby Darkseid photo, he's doing a what's up thing. It's really
and
cool.
it's genuinely adorable somehow. And this one is just funny.
I mean,
it
this
came
is
out
kind of
nowhere.
this is adorable.
It's-
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Because neither of them can really hurt the other. They're babies. They don't have strength. I mean, clearly one
Yeah,
does.
but look at their ugly little heads.
I know they've got weird vascular heads. They
Yeah.
look it looks like there's some animation. Maybe it's Rick and Morty, but there's just a kid in the background of some show. They just have a bulbous, veiny head. Is that
That's
Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. Wow. Do I have any other notes for this?
X-Men
Oh,
97 or
yeah. I told you about the Genosha figures, 16.5 million. We talked about, this is just notes from the comics, but we talked about the bald baby fight.
Mhm.
We talked about the Master Mold and Mother Mold. Do you want to hear about Sublime and Hodge?
Oh, I would love to. They're
They didn't-
my favorite characters from X-Men Destiny.
They haven't shown up in X-Men 97 that I'm aware of, but I was looking up worst things that happened to the mutants. Because I was trying to find the comic storyline where this happened.
Yeah.
the Genoshan massacre, and fucking no website would tell me. It took me like 10 different sources. But hold on, where is it? The second most deadly, I guess, thing to happen to the X-Men was John Sublime's War on Evolution nearly ended the mutant species. And in that run
That
from
weird bulbous guy.
I haven't seen him in that form yet in any comics
Okay.
or anything, but in that X or new X-Men run I was telling you, or from 2001, I was telling you about,
Hmm.
uh a plot point is, people hate the mutants, obviously. That's how all humans are always like that in the world. But John Sublime is kind of the opposite end of that, where he adores mutant culture, but not in the sense that he like praises them and like wants to make sure that they're like safe and comfortable in the world.
Hmm.
He's like, oh, well, why are they the only ones who get mutant evolution or like genetic superpowers? So what he does is he takes the genes from mutants and then puts them into humans.
Oh, okay. That makes
So
sense.
in X-Men 97, no, X-Men Destiny, he injects himself with, I don't know, some mutant powers. I think in the thing it was what's it called? It was Quicksilver's powers, wasn't it?
In the game?
Yeah, in the game. Didn't he stab himself with Quicksilver powers?
I have no idea whose powers he took.
I
Because
think
it
it
kind of
was,
just
then he became real big.
that shouldn't make him big though. It should make him fast.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a
But
combination because I guess because who were the three that he had? It was Quicksilver, Colossus, and someone else.
the
The
Pixie?
electric person. Yeah, actually no.
Oh yeah,
Is he
I don't
electric?
no.
Yeah, it was
I don't
whoever
know
the
who that
electric
electric person was.
but I think he had a combination of those three then.
Okay, well I thought on this list there was also a Hodge thing, but there's not a Hodge thing. So that's weird.
Hodge is just on your brain
I
constantly.
yes, because I'm so confused by him. Hold on, let me find a different. Did I put it somewhere else? No, I didn't. That's fucking weird. Oh well. But yeah, there's a photo of Hodge and his weird body.
It was weird.
So
Oh, it was weird, like metal head or
yeah,
whatever.
his like metal snake centipede body. And I was like, huh,
That's the
I guess not. Oh well.
ideal body for a man.
Yeah. And I mean, according to CBR.com, the biggest threat, what is this even called? Hold on. It's a event that almost wiped out the mutants was the rise of Krakoa led to future man-machine mutant war, which, yeah, we talked about that.
God, we're
I don't know.
mutants, man.
Yeah, they got really sucks. People are terrified of them. It's,
Yeah,
I'd say
liked
that's
the
bigotry. I'd go so
yeah,
far.
you'd go so far. No,
Bigotry,
I liked in
racism, horrible.
the show when Colossus like yelled at them that the only reason they're still alive is because of the X-Men, essentially.
Colossus? Oh, I didn't even
No, I'm
Cyclops?
sorry, Cyclops, yeah.
Yeah,
Where's
well,
Colossus? Why isn't he in here?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, but I liked when Cyclops did that because one, he's right, and he
That's
probably
true.
shouldn't be yelling at him because that's not going to be a
What
good look.
caused that weird freak out for him?
They
Was
asked
it
about his
because
son and then accused him of
Oh
lying,
yeah,
which he was lying, but still.
guy's not camera trained or
No,
interview trained. You should not have said that. That is not going to help their
no,
cause.
that
Even
is
though
going to hurt their cause, but I
yeah, like you
understand it.
said, yeah, he's right. If the mutants wanted to, they could take out humanity.
Yeah, and they keep protecting humanity from things that are going to wipe out humanity.
Right. But people don't respond to that. But that being said, people don't respond to that. So you can't just
Yeah.
threaten them.
No,
Because
that was dumb of him.
yeah, people do respond to threats.
And will be pissed, and then they'll send a sentinel at you.
But also, I kind of hope that they wouldn't air that, They
I
cut that out. Was it
They
live?
probably did. I don't think it was live.
Okay.
But I feel like they might have. Actually, it might have been live. I have no idea. 'Cause it was like a reporter person. So unless they were making a documentary or something, it probably was just them talking to them. And then they had to change because, everyone got murdered.
Do you want to hear a spoiler?
No.
Beast and that reporter have a fling at some point in the comics.
He did have a little blush, so I'm
Yeah.
happy for him.
I think Beast is like maybe my favorite X-Men. I really like him.
Really?
Like how he's all like, I don't know. There was a line in that.
Papa.
Yeah, there's a line in that the same X-Men series I've talked about this entire time,
Mhm.
where he talks about someone. Cassandra Nova is like, you're a fucking loser, bro. And because she's like, you're not an evolution, you're a de-evolution. Like you started as a human, you became an ape, you became a cat. Because Beast evolves or changes form significantly a lot, and sometimes he's
Mhm.
like a giant kind of Tony the Tiger looking guy.
Oh,
And
look at this
he,
Beast.
yeah, look at
Boy,
Beast,
fat-
new X-Men.
fat Beast. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, he changes a lot, and he thinks he theorizes that it's to do with the rise of a new generation of mutants. I think maybe like whatever caused that X gene in the new generation also added to his evolution.
Okay.
But when he was talking about how he looks like that, he's like, yeah, but I fucking love like poetry and art and literature and stuff. I'm like, oh, Beast, I love you, man.
Yeah, he is such a chill dude, such an intellectual.
Yeah. And then so Cassandra Nova goes into his brain, and to illustrate this in the comics, they had words flying around.
Hmm.
These are what the words were: nightmare, pain, bad, stupid, ugly, child. And then bad, hurt, ugly. And I was like, oh, this is like PG graffiti.
He's such a mean subconscious.
Yeah, I really like Beast. You're really cool, man.
Yeah, I don't have that much knowledge of Beast. Were we ever able to play Beast in Ultimate Alliance? I can't remember.
I don't think so.
Maybe in 3, that would make sense, but I don't know if we did 1 and 2.
I don't know. Were any X-Men in 3? Oh, there
Yeah.
were, weren't there?
We went to
Yeah.
the place and there was a bunch of them, and you could
I
play
have
as a
no
lot
memory of that.
characters.
I know, but I wondered if because they owned Fox at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it matters for games.
No, they have. I think they have the rights for the games because
Okay.
Marvel always had the merchandising rights and TV rights for X-Men. They had to loan it out.
Ultimate Alliance cast. Ultimate Alliance 4. What?
Yeah, there's always going to be that rumor.
In development at Nintendo, January 16th, 2024. Now, I don't know if that's true or not.
I doubt it.
I do too. Okay. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 roster. Oh wait, we could be Nightcrawler. You think Beast isn't a cool enough character for them to give it to us?
I don't know. I feel like what would you have his move set would just be kind of basic.
It'd be Hulkish, I feel like,
Yeah.
but not as strong.
Like he's strong, but he's not that strong. He's acrobatic, but it's hard to do that in a
Yeah.
it's not a top-down game. It's kind of like a third-person angle.
Okay, my understanding. I can't find like a good picture to show me all the roster, so I'm gonna scroll through a list real quick.
Do you have that
Unlock
game or
this.
do I have that game? I know it's
I have
my
it.
game, but you have it on you, right? Like in your
Yes,
pocket
it's
right
my
now?
game, and then you gave it to me, and then I was like, "Thank you, sir," and then I
No, it's
played it
my
once.
game.
Well, no,
That's
I meant
'cause-
like it's
Oh,
your game,
yeah.
and then you gave it to me in the sense that I have the copy. Like I wasn't saying it's mine.
So you're saying I'm a really generous dude, right?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Here,
man.
I'll show it to you. I have it right here
Oh, do you actually? Oh, nice.
because I forgot to take my little thing out of my backpack, so it's been sitting there. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some miscellaneous things throughout the week?
You want to talk about Ultimate Alliance 3, the roster?
We could. Oh, did you find it?
Yeah, I was pulling it up.
Oh, well,
Wait.
it took you long enough. I got distracted.
But yeah, I'm down to talk about miscellaneous stuff. Just let me find the X-Men characters.
That's going to be a new segment. It's just called Weird Shit that I was thinking about.
Okay. I don't think it can be Beast.
Damn it.
You can be Cyclops. You can be Cable.
Really? I don't remember that at
we
all.
don't have any of the DLCs though, so that's probably
We should
why.
get the DLCs. I bet they're cheap nowadays. Oh, maybe not. It's Nintendo.
Yeah, I have them on my what you call it, my wish list, and then I'm waiting to see if they go on sale. But I'm not sure if that works with DLCs.
I don't know either.
But if they do, I'll get them
Yeah.
or Stardew Valley.
Yeah. It's a good point. Are you gonna watch Fallout? Apparently it's
want
really
to.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for good
I
games. I played the game. It was fun. I didn't finish it, but I enjoyed it.
never got into that game. I tried playing. I probably played it for like 30 minutes. Seemed fine.
Yeah,
I don't think I got out of the bunker, if I'm being honest.
I got pretty
But,
far, and then I got stuck at a part,
Yeah.
and then I gave up.
I got press tickets for the first 2 episodes, but I didn't go.
Where would they play them at?
Just some movie theaters. They do that sometimes for TV shows like this.
Okay,
But
is it released all at once, or is it?
yeah, it's all out. And
Oh.
it's like
Sick. Then I might
really
watch that
highly
next.
rated. Yeah, I think I might start that. I'm watching this show called Castle Rock. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of Castle Rock.
But have you heard of
I
the
haven't heard
show
of this
Castle
one,
Rock?
Castle Rock television series.
It's about
Oh,
It's like
a psychological horror? Hell yeah.
yeah, you might like it. It's like a Stephen King produced show set in the town of Castle Rock, which is supposedly a town that Stephen King likes to use, and it combines all of his, maybe not all, but a lot of his work.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fine. I got really into it for one day. Like I watched the first episode probably like last Sunday, right? I was like, that's pretty all right. Then Monday I watched like 6 episodes. And then I have slowly, there are only 10 episodes. I still haven't finished the first season. It's good though. I like it. Bill Skarsgård is in it, not as Pennywise as the
Damn,
kid, but
the
it's pretty,
kid.
yeah, it's pretty compelling for the most part. I am enjoying it. There are 2 seasons. I don't think they're related to each other. At least you don't follow the same characters.
Okay.
It's probably like Fargo where it's set in the town, but it's okay, man. I don't hate it.
Yeah. You go check that out. Because I also need to watch Gen V. So I need to watch Gen V, Fallout, and Castle Rock.
Yeah. I don't know. And
'Cause
that
Castle Rock now sounds really interesting, but obviously
I
there's
think
a
you'd
lot
like
more
it.
shows.
It's kind of Mike Flanagan-esque, just not as good. Or it's better, I don't know.
Maybe in some of it.
Yeah.
Probably not as good as Hill House.
Like the
I-
premise itself is really interesting of the first season.
How do you
And here it
compare
is.
to Midnight Mass?
I like Midnight Mass a lot.
Yeah.
That's my favorite out of his stuff.
Okay.
So I wouldn't compare the two. If for nothing else, there are no Draculas in Castle Rock so far.
Yeah, there might be in the future.
But okay, so the premise of this is at Shawshank Prison,
Okay.
Shawshank is in this. The warden kills himself. They get a new warden. They find an underground bunker in a closed off wing of Shawshank, and in that bunker is Bill Skarsgård in a cage. And so,
That actually sounds really interesting.
yeah. And you just go from there, basically. And it genuinely is. And they have no record of this man. He's not in the prison system. No one knows who he is. And so, yeah.
I might watch that next then. Or Fallout. How long?
I
how
think
many
you'd like
episodes
it.
are in Fallout.
I think 8. I can check real quick if you want,
Okay.
unless you're doing that right now. Or are you checking out Castle Rock?
I'm checking out
Or are you
Castle
looking at
Rock.
that photo of babies again?
I'm gonna make that my screensaver.
8 episodes, yeah. No,
Okay.
Castle Rock is good. We talked about the Thunderbolts asterisk thing.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, they had this week there was some sort of Disney, I don't know if it was a shareholder meeting or what,
Mhm.
but the logo behind Kevin Feige had the asterisk, and supposedly, I haven't seen the clip. I've only heard people talking about it who were there, and they've just been lying about being there. But apparently, he said no one will mention or talk about the asterisk until after the movie, until it comes out. So, what do you think that
Okay.
means?
I have no idea. Maybe there's a little footnote at the end of the movie, and it just
Yeah.
says like some weird thing. It's like a little joke.
Maybe it's an asterisk, and then it cuts to the footnote and it says, "Everybody check under your seats." And then everybody looks under their seats, and then it reveals that like Iron Man's alive while everyone's like looking away. So everyone misses it.
That'd be so funny.
What's the Nova logo?
That Nova logo? I have no idea.
Is it a asterisk? Kinda.
Do you think it might be that?
No, I mean, I don't know why Nova would be fighting the Thunderbolts. I don't know, let me
Why
look
would
up.
anyone be fighting the
Look up who the
Thunderbolts?
asterisk means.
Who the asterisk is?
Sorry, no, look up who the Thunderbolts. Oh, that's
What?
interesting. I was gonna say, look up who the Thunderbolts have fought.
Okay. Who have Thunderbolts fought?
They have fought Captain Marvel, the original
I feel
version.
like they probably fought a lot of people. Like it's
Well,
only
yeah,
the
but like,
Avengers, Fantastic Four, Inhumans, Skrulls, 10 most
Okay.
powerful villains in Marvel Comics. Wait, what? The Thunderbolts fight whoever is in front of them. So it's just they throw hands on sight, no matter who it is. It'll be
Yeah,
like
they
a
do.
baby as
It's just Cassandra
It'll be
Nova.
Professor X in the womb and throwing hands.
So do you want to hear a theory as to why there's a Thunderbolt or a asterisk after the
Mhm.
Thunderbolts? People think that it may emerge as the Dark Avengers after all. So it's going to release as the Thunderbolts, and then post-release they'll change the name to Dark Avengers.
I feel like that's a cool little thing to do.
Yeah, but why? More
And people
people would go
actually
see
see
a
it.
movie. More people would go see a movie called Dark Avengers than Thunderbolts. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But now you have what's the word? Suspense, I guess, confusion about why there's an asterisk. So then they're like, well, now I have to go see it.
But like,
why is there an asterisk?
if in movie at the end they get the name Dark Avengers, then the Thunderbolts asterisk makes sense. But if they actually change the name, like in theaters, they're like, oh no, this is Dark Avengers. I'm like, that's strange. It'd be cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's it'd be a neat idea.
I feel like they should only have like the end credits show like Dark Avengers if it's that, but not actually change the name of the movie.
Yeah. Because changing the name, I don't think that's ever been done. Changing the name of the movie at release. Like, we all think it's called Avengers 4, and then
It's really
on
Avengers
the day
5.
of release, it's called Avengers 5. But, like, I don't know. It'd be cool. But that being said, in terms of, like, marketing for the movie, more people would go see a movie called Dark Avengers than Thunderbolts.
Yeah, unless they mistake it for the hit Nickelodeon show Thunderman.
Oh, I just found out something, Rhys. Wait,
What?
what'd you just say? Nickelodeon show called what?
Thunderman, I think.
Thunderman.
I've never watched it, but apparently people like it. They made a movie for it recently. The Thundermans, yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of this.
Right,
So,
continue. What'd you find out?
okay, the Sentry is a founding member of the Dark Avengers, apparently. So
Oh.
that would explain his involvement in the movie, which I'm known for being
Being a big
confused
fan
by. I'm not against it. I like
Mhm.
I love the Sentry as a character. I would have loved Stephen Yeun as the Sentry. I don't remember what the other guy's name is, but I'm sure he's going to be great.
Nick Miller from New Girl.
Yeah, Nick Miller, not even the actor, just the
No,
character.
character.
He's gonna show up like, I'm Nick Miller, and then he turns into the Sentry. But I've been confused because I don't understand how the Thunderbolts could take down the Sentry. But if he's a founding member of the Dark Avengers, That makes sense. Still don't know how, if he's the villain, I don't know how they're gonna fight him.
Maybe he just shows up at the end and just like, I'm making a team. Would you like to
Yeah.
be the Dark Avengers? And
I'm
then
Nick Miller.
they all look at each other confused.
And they also said like there's no hint that Norman Osborn will finally enter the MCU. Have we talked about this? How they
They've already been in the MCU.
yeah, and they
I know
can't
it's
fucking
different
do that
still.
again. Like if Norman Osborn shows up, Spider-Man's gonna be like, "You're that guy that killed my aunt. Like you're a different universe version. I'm smart because I know math, but like I don't trust you. And if you become Green Goblin, I'll know who it is."
Yeah,
Oh
I
well.
feel like that'd be maybe I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Well,
That's a
according to
good
this photo of the Dark Avengers, the team looks to be a guy wearing a costume who might be Quicksilver. Don't know who it is. Sentry, Ms. Marvel, or maybe this is Captain Marvel. I don't know at what point of the comics this is. This is Captain Marvel though.
Okay.
Iron Patriot, who's Norman Osborn, Hercules, and Wolverine, and Hawkeye, and Black Suit Spider-Man, or Black, yeah. So we have most of those characters.
Yeah.
Except for Quicksilver, if that even is Quicksilver, and Hercules. Not Hercules. This is Ares. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I think I found the
Ares.
photo you're
Ares
talking
is
about.
back again.
Yes, who's
Ares back.
or what was Ares in? What am I thinking of?
Secret Invasion, the comic book. Yeah, we were both surprised by that when we talked about it.
Yeah, I always forget he's a character.
Wait, what
Or he's
comes first?
Also in Percy Jackson. I haven't watched the show, but I watched a video talking about the show.
Oh yeah, what do they think of the show? Was it the video? It's like Percy Jackson hates action.
No, it was Friendly Space Ninja.
Oh
I
yeah,
really like that guy. He's very
I still need to
very-
check that guy out.
Yeah, it's very chill. I feel like he explains things very well, but he was talking about how I don't even remember. I haven't seen it, so I couldn't say whether or not. He was just complaining about some aspects about it. You know, the usual.
Right. Captain America: Brave New World comes out a few months before Thunderbolts * releases. And Ross is the president of the United States and will ask Sam Wilson to rebuild the Avengers. I didn't know that was the plot.
Oh, who do you
Sounds
think he's
cool.
gonna get on the Avengers?
Probably mostly the same people.
He'll get Spider-Man.
Does he know who Spider-Man is?
He
I
doesn't
don't
know who
understand.
he is, but he knows.
But he
Spider-Man
knows of
exists.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Nah, he's probably gonna get.
Doctor Strange.
Well, yeah, he's gonna demand from Doctor Strange, "Hey, man, please." Who is around? I guess Thor's not around. He's on that
Thor's-
planet fighting people.
Is he? What's he doing?
No,
at the end?
remember
Love and Thunder?
him and his daughter are on a
Mhm.
spaceship. Then they go
Yeah.
out and they fight. They get in the middle of a fight between two like warring nations or something. I know Sebastian Stan's
Yes.
apparently not in the new Captain America movie, so
That's
he
'cause
wouldn't
he's
get.
Thunderbolting.
Yeah, so he's not gonna get anyone on the Thunderbolts. He'd probably get maybe She-Hulk. Maybe he goes to Hulk and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And Hulk's like, "I don't want to join your team, but here's my son, Scar." And then
Yeah.
Captain America's like, "No, that's not good for PR.
Yeah,
Look at
Scar's
that
gonna be
guy's hair."
the Kid Avengers.
Yeah. And
And
then
they
he's like,
can't have
"Okay, well,
any
I
other
have
kids.
I have a cousin who you could have if she wants to join the team." So they get Jennifer Walters. Is that her name?
Yeah, I think.
So, yeah.
Who else would they get?
Daredevil? No. I mean, we don't know.
Maybe.
By that point, he might be more known in the world.
Shang-Chi
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, he's going to get Shang-Chi. I don't know.
at some point.
So this is what the movie's about. There will be other characters in it, right? Like we'll see the Avengers. That'll be nice. It's been such a long time since we've seen anyone.
Yeah. I don't even
Oh,
remember.
man.
What was the last?
Captain Marvel was the last movie.
Miss Marvels was the last one that came out, or the Marvels. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the Marvels, and then Echo was the most recent show.
Oh, I forgot about Echo.
I don't think
Did
we'll
we
get.
Echo?
Maybe. I think they're gonna do like a separation between street level and Avengers.
Did you see
Maybe.
the actress who plays Echo said she wanted to fight Green Goblin?
Why? What? That's
I don't
weird.
know. Green Goblin would destroy her.
Oh, did you hear that Tom Hiddleston said that he wants to see Loki fight Wolverine?
Oh,
Who do you think would win that?
Is
Like
it
an actually good
Loki
fight.
versus Wolverine?
Yeah.
Probably. I feel like Loki hasn't been shown to be a great fighter, but I know he is.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely capable.
Yeah.
And he would fuck with Wolverine. Like he would. I mean, but Wolverine's got the enhanced senses, so he'd probably see through the multiple Lokis.
Yeah, but I still feel like Wolverine would be like Loki would just teleport a bunch or some shit.
I don't
Would he
even
do
know
that?
if-
Or does he just like have a fake projection and then is somewhere else the entire time?
I don't know. He's got vague powers.
Yeah.
But
Magic.
Wolverine, because Loki's an Asgardian, obviously. Well,
Mhm.
no, he's not. He's an ice giant. So
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
pretty
even
good, though.
as durable as an Asgardian. I don't know. I'd be interested.
Loki-
I'd want to see it. Maybe we'll get that in Deadpool
I'm gonna
3.
look it up.
Loki versus Wolverine. You know what I was reading this week?
Loki wins according to this one person.
Okay.
Loki has a sword and a whip.
That's their excuse, because I think Wolverine's dealt with both of those before, both in a fight in a sexual context.
Yeah, it's kind of split.
I don't know. Wolverine, they're both notoriously hard to kill,
Yeah, but he does have magic, and that kind of gives him a one up on
but it's not the
Wolverine.
same kind of magic as, I mean, it is, but like he doesn't use it the same way Doctor Strange does.
No, but I think comic Loki does.
I don't know. I read over the week, Wolverine versus Punisher. Have you
Will
heard about this
Wolverine
comic series?
destroy him? Oh no.
Actually, no.
Really?
The Punisher is really capable.
He's just
Basically,
spraying him with bullets, and then Wolverine's just gonna walk as he's
no, he
getting
doesn't.
sprayed with
Wolverine or
bullets.
Punisher doesn't only use guns. He's got a net that has razors on it. That hurt.
That would
I think
definitely hurt.
he's got acid sometimes. But so big. This is a 4-issue arc. In the first issue, all the issues are bookended by the modern day fight between the two of them.
Mhm.
And then it flashes back to each time they've met each other. And what I love about this is each time Wolverine sees the Punisher, he's like, "Oh, it's that fucking guy," because like he doesn't know much about that
No.
about the Punisher, not the Punisher, the Predator. Wait, did I say Punisher?
Yeah.
The Predator. I even wrote Punisher. Sorry.
That makes more. I
Wolverine
was
would
like, I feel
kill
like
the
Wolverine would
Punisher.
destroy the Punisher. Like he's not incapable, but he is.
Wow, that's embarrassing for me. No, the Predator. You know the Predator?
I do know the Predator. I haven't seen the
That
movie
probably
though.
makes more sense. He's got a net with razors on it and acid and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's a 4-issue arc. They're fighting, and it's bookended by their modern day fight. It cuts back to like 1800s. Wolverine's living in the Alaskan wilderness
Mhm.
or Canadian wilderness, maybe, and the Punisher just shows up on Earth and then kicks the shit out of Wolverine for a bit, and then Wolverine gets a bear to attack him, and he wanders off thinking he killed the Predator, and then we find out that the Predator killed the bear.
That makes sense. Why would
Yeah.
Predator lose to a bear?
I know, right? I mean, Wolverine doesn't know that, but yeah, if he keeps running into the Predator like throughout the centuries, and he's like, "Oh, it's you."
It's just Wolverine like looks up at a tree and is like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and sometimes the Predator brings a bunch of Predator friends
That's
because
unfair. That's
they just
cheating.
really want to kill him. And then it ends with Wolverine gets the upper hand, kills the Predator. I think because the Predator is a notorious sore loser.
Mhm.
So if he's losing, he will just nuke the area that he's at. Like he's got a self-destruct that just destroys like, I don't know, like a 50-mile radius around him. Until he does that, doesn't kill Wolverine. And then Wolverine is sitting there like, I kind of miss him. Like he literally says like, part of me is lost now. I miss having him over my shoulder at all times, potentially attacking me out of nowhere. It's pretty good though.
Like the chicken and Peter fight. in Family
Exactly.
Guy.
That's exactly what it is, but better because it's the
Yeah,
Wolverine and not the Predator, not the Punisher, the Predator.
Yeah.
Can't believe I made that mistake. Yeah, no, Wolverine would kill the Punisher.
Yeah.
I mean, he's capable, but
That's what I was saying. The Punisher would just shoot bullets at him, and then Wolverine would just be walking.
I don't know. It depends on because the Punisher is kind of like Batman in the sense that he murders people, but also
Yeah.
in the sense that I feel like if the Punisher is going to take out someone specifically, he will prepare for it because he would
Okay.
know a lot about Wolverine, and so he'd probably bring something that he thinks could take down Wolverine, like a magnet. You bring a magnet,
A big magnet.
just a big magnet. He'd tie a bunch of magnets around him that repel Wolverine, so he can't get in close.
Do you think there's like wiki pages on superheroes in this world? So if you want to like learn about them, you could just look up like Wolverine, and there's a
I think
Wikipedia
there
page
is.
being like,
Yeah. I mean, I know that at least in some continuities. I mean, in the MCU, the superheroes are celebrities. Not necessarily celebrities, but like there are like conventions where fans go and dress up like them and stuff. So I feel like there would be people who, keep up a Wikipedia page for them.
that would
And
make sense. Yeah.
in the comics, there are comics about the characters, like in-universe comics.
Oh, like about
Yeah.
what they actually did, or just like fan
Both,
made? Okay.
I think.
I'm curious. Is the Punisher in Ultimate Alliance?
Yes.
Oh,
He's
you
in
can
one of
play-
them at least.
I think you can play him as in the third.
Yeah. He was one of my go-to, I'm pretty sure. He had a bunch of really good, like, moves.
I think he might be a DLC, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I know I played him as something. And I was like, wow, this guy's awesome.
Oh no, you played Daredevil a lot.
Yeah, but he kept dying. Daredevil dies so quickly in those games.
Yeah, so did Cyclops.
I know. Who do you think would win, Cyclops
So
or
did
Daredevil?
Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk would die in like seconds.
Yeah.
There's probably a button that you have to hit where he like gamma charges himself, and maybe he's invincible then. But if you're not hitting that button,
I don't know.
who do you think would win, Daredevil or Cyclops?
Cyclops. If he
Why?
if he wanted to.
Yeah, Cyclops is.
Like Daredevil's a better fighter, but
If
like,
Daredevil can get in close, I think he'd win. But I don't know if he could get in close Because Daredevil, not
let's
Daredevil,
say you take
Cyclops could
off,
just shoot him.
yeah, what's the word?
The
Like
visor?
no morals. So
Okay.
they're both trying to kill the other one.
Cyclops is a
Cyclops
killer.
just takes his glasses off and then
Yeah.
murders the shit out of Daredevil.
But could Daredevil dodge that? He's very good at dodging stuff.
But you've seen the panel of him like lighting up the entire thing to kill a Sentinel, right?
Yeah, he could dodge
Yeah.
that.
You should dodge that. Daredevil like does a cartwheel. And
He just
dodges
cartwheels
it.
infinitely. I don't know. I think
It's
you're
like
right.
the beam's going this way and he's just cartwheeling away.
Exactly. My money's on Daredevil, man.
Okay.
I mean, Daredevil could
understand
throw the billy club. But Cyclops would just shoot it probably, or catch it. He's pretty capable.
that. Like I could
Did you-
see Daredevil potentially getting the drop on Cyclops, but I feel like if they're even slightly apart from one another and Cyclops is looking at him, then that's game over.
Oh yeah, if it's like a fight where Daredevil is able to hide from him, because Cyclops wouldn't destroy a building on a whim. So if they're fighting in a building and Cyclops doesn't know where Daredevil is, Daredevil might win just because he could sneak up on Cyclops. And Cyclops could not sneak up on Daredevil. But that being said, if they're like fighting in an alley, which is where Daredevil does most of his fights, or a hallway,
Or the
Cyclops is
mansion,
dead. Yeah,
which would already have been exploded by then.
that's true. That thing goes up in flames left, right, and center.
Yeah.
All right, I have one more miscellaneous note.
Okay.
You know, people have accused us, that's not true. No one's actually said this, but of being Marvel fanboys. We never talk about DC, and we should.
I prefer DC.
I know. That's like the only time we've talked about DC, I think. Or when I make fun of Zack Snyder.
Which is reasonable.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the origin of Doomsday?
Doomsday. It's he's on like some scientist made him and then he sends him out and he dies and then he can't die the same way, so he keeps sending him out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Pre-civilization Krypton, there's like a guy who's trying to perfect evolution, so he takes a baby, throws him out into the wilderness. The baby dies. He clones the baby, sends him back out, and then eventually gets to the point where he's just like a giant monster.
Yeah.
Just like a protrusion rock man and can't die the same way twice. And I thought,
Like
that's
5
silly.
million rhinos at once.
Yeah, you're right. What do you think of Doomsday and Batman v Superman?
Oh, terrible.
Do you think it's terrible in concept, in design, in execution, all of the
I
above?
think in execution and design, I think he looks terrible and
Yeah.
there's no reason to have him in the movie.
It was way too early, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm just bad-mouthing DC again. I love DC. Hate those movies though.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean, I
Zack-
enjoyed Batman v Superman, but I
remember when we
in
saw
hindsight
that.
refused to watch it again.
Well,
So
we're gonna have to, or I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
When we saw that in theaters, we saw it opening night, right?
Mhm.
And you were quite young, and I don't remember what scene it was. I think it's the fight against Doomsday, but I saw you do a little fist pump because you were so
Yeah.
excited when like something happened.
I really liked the actual Batman v Superman fight.
Do you still like it?
I haven't watched it in a
Yeah.
long time. The ending's so stupid.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the ending's
I
bad
think
for
I
the
enjoyed the
reason
rest
people
of it.
say it is. I think the
It's
ending's
just too
bad
cliche.
because
not cliche. It's too
lame.
yes.
Are you talking about the Martha bit?
Yes.
Okay, because I mean that's dumb. There's no
Yeah.
denying that. But what I think makes that ending bad is the fact that Batman puts a spear in the ground somewhere and then goes to a rooftop and somehow, I guess because he's really good at fighting, he got them. He drove the fight to end up near that spear. And then he tries to kill Superman with a spear, or he's about to kill Superman. And all of that, I think, is the dumbest shit in the world.
He's just that smart, you know?
But if he were smart, he'd just have the spear in his hands when Superman shows up.
Yeah, and this Batman is fine using guns, so just shoot
Yeah,
him.
like he used the kryptonite gas canisters.
Mhm.
I guess, did he know kryptonite would do that?
I think so, and I think he wanted to beat the shit out of Superman.
Yeah, it was like he was being theatrical. That's why
Yeah.
but if Batman were smart, he would be
Which he
theatrical, but not hope that the fight will end up wherever the fuck he stabbed that spear into the ground.
Yeah,
And then the Martha bit, of course.
that part is dumb. But I did like that fight. And then I know one point I was like, yeah, I prefer that fight than the airport one in Civil War. That's not true.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I said it. Little Rhys stands by it. Old Rhys does not.
I mean, it's a good fight, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like that fight is unnecessary because Superman shows up and he does not want to fight Batman, right?
Yeah.
Because he knows Lex has his mom and he needs Batman's help. But instead of just saying that, he tries to say it, in the film's defense, he does say something like, "Hey, we need to talk." But that's as he is walking threateningly towards Batman. And then
Who's
he gets,
terrified of Superman.
yeah,
Like he thinks him only negatively.
right. He's walking threateningly towards him, gets shot a bunch, and then the fight is on. At no point should Superman have fought back. At no point should he have landed on the ground. He should have like floated near him and said, "Hey, Lex
What's
is
up?
behind this.
What's up,
Let's.
dog?"
My mom's name is Martha. That'll be relevant later, but can you go get her? She needs a ride. Can you pick her up?"
Just real quick.
Yeah, like that could have been solved if Superman wasn't an idiot. They only fought because the movie is called Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Didn't feel natural at all.
No.
Yeah, and Superman lets Batman hit him a second time with the kryptonite gas canister.
He was
Like
confused.
it should have worked the first time. Makes sense because Superman's never dealt with kryptonite or gas that he could impact him. But the second time, Batman is like on the ground on the back foot. Superman's like flying towards him or walking towards him or something. Batman reloads it. And I think it takes like 4 seconds for him to reload it. And then he shoots the canister again. He should have had a second thing.
Yeah.
The canister is part one. The second thing is the spear.
Yeah.
Or the kryptonite ring. Or like a kryptonite lace suit. Which is a bit much. But
where he like blasted his ears.
yeah, well, that's in The Dark Knight Returns, I think. The sonic cannons. But then they fight Doomsday. And then Superman dies for no reason.
Agreed.
Why didn't Wonder Woman do it? Not die, but Wonder Woman was she was doing really well.
Yeah, she was kicking ass.
And she was smiling. She was having
Which is
fun.
not Doomsday. Doomsday would destroy pretty much everyone but Superman.
Have you heard about that? I don't know if they actually made it or not, but there was at least a pitched Doomsday Justice League origin story where Doomsday shows up on Earth, like basically kills every member of the Justice League. The only one left is Superman, and then they fight, and then he dies, or almost dies, one of the two. But like that's how you do Doomsday. Send him to Earth. I like when you see a little pod flying through space. Would you have liked? Do you think Batman v Superman would be better if that movie? It's exactly the same except for the Lex Luthor cloning Zod thing to make Doomsday. But every 5 minutes it cuts to space and we see Doomsday just flying through it. Not like in that weird container, or maybe not. Maybe just a naked Doomsday.
We see him in a container, and it just cuts to his little face just asleep.
Yeah, or it's like his face just up against the window, and it plays like da na 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 na. And then every 5 minutes it does that. And then instead of the Martha thing, at the climax of the fight,
he lands in it.
Batman's like, "I'm going to kill you with this spear." And then Doomsday lands right there. And then he comes out and he goes, "I'm Doomsday." And then they fight.
I think that would be good.
It wouldn't, though.
I would love that. Much better.
I mean, I would love that too, but it wouldn't be good. Do you like Doomsday in his weird green jumpsuit?
I do, actually. The
That's pretty cool.
suit? Yeah.
Like the straitjacket thing, really cool.
Yeah. I only know him from Injustice, though. Or I guess I've seen him in a show or movie or whatever.
Well, he's in Justice League animated.
Yeah. What is he in the containment suit in it?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes, but also
I think
I don't
he starts out in it.
I don't like that version because he just talks like he's like a intelligent creature, which isn't my Doomsday. Not my Doomsday 2024.
I like Doomsday was a cool character in whatchamacallit, Injustice. I liked him.
What does he do in Injustice? I have no memory of that.
I don't even mean like in the story.
Just like getting to play as him?
It's a cool looking character.
He's such a great design for a character. That book's not great, The Death of Superman.
No,
we should do a
not.
video on it at some point because there's some weird stuff in there. When you're back, we'll do a bunch of like famous comic storylines that maybe are terrible. But there's a plot like in that comic book storyline. Superman's a weird rivalry with Guy Gardner, which I don't understand why.
No one likes Guy Gardner.
Lex Luthor is a clone of himself with giant like Magneto length red hair, and he's Australian. And he's dating Supergirl, but Supergirl is not a Kryptonian. She's something else. And then Doomsday hits Supergirl at one point and she splatters into like white goo. It's really strange. Like that comic is only famous because of the name and what happens to him. But there's so much continuity that I'm missing because it just came out in the middle of a run.
Yeah.
So like I'm missing like why is Superman and Guy Gardner, why do they hate each other? Like I have no idea. Why is Supergirl a goo? Why is Lex Luthor Australian? Strange.
Maybe if you did the
was a
run,
fake
you'd
fan.
appreciate it. Yeah.
I don't want to read a bunch
You
of
were a Marvel
90s comics.
fanboy.
I am a Marvel fanboy. All right, well, that's everything I have on my notes. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I bring up Joker too, but I actually have not seen the trailer,
Oh,
so
I
I
didn't
can't
watch it
say anything
either.
about
I
it.
don't know.
But
The stills I've seen from it, it looks really, I mean, the Joker movie looks really good. Like it's shot really well. I
mhm.
like the, I don't know, color grading and cinematography. I'm famous for being confused by that movie. But I'm gonna watch it probably. I mean, I
Yeah,
definitely will.
I don't know
We're
when
gonna
it
have
comes
to
out,
watch
but
it
I'm
for this.
excited
It's
for it.
October 5th,
Okay.
maybe October something. But
Hey,
hey,
yeah. I'll be back then. Yay.
yeah, I don't know. We'll go watch opening night. We'll dress up.
As
We'll
what?
both be
LP.
Robin.
We'll get like the little.
Yeah, little green shorts.
Does it come out like Halloween or something? I think that would
It's
make it
around
funny.
Halloween.
Actually, it'd be funny if it
Do you
wasn't.
say Halloween? I say Halloween. Which
I
one's
say
right?
both. I don't think it matters. Oh, October 4th. So it's like
I
it's
was pretty close
yeah, it's 27 days
from now.
from yeah, from now.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard there's a line from it, and this is probably a joke. This is almost definitely a joke the more I think about it. But Harley Quinn says to Joker, "You can do anything because you're the Joker." And if that's a real line, that's really bad. But if that's a joke, you got me going there for a
Yeah,
second.
but picture Lady Gaga
Lady
saying that
Gaga.
in a Harley Quinn voice.
Yeah, and
Now you get it. Now you get the line. It works perfectly.
this is a weird link that my brain made. Have you heard about the recent Kanye West, not accusation, someone is suing him.
No, this is a very weird jump.
Okay, the jump, if I can explain
With
it,
Lady Gaga.
there's a clip of Kanye West yelling about Gaga because he's talking about how Gaga is the spokesperson for Polaroid. And he's like, what the fuck does Gaga know about cameras? And then he goes, but I like the Gaga stuff. Anyway, and this is alleged because
Okay.
I'm too lazy to look it up, and please don't sue us. But supposedly in the accusations against Kanye West, you looking it up?
No.
Okay. But someone who worked for him did. I'm just hold on.
You're gonna look it up?
I'm gonna look it up. Kanye West Mario dance. That'll make sense in a second.
Run, baby, run.
Okay, so this is on Kotaku.com. Rolling Stone's coverage of the Los Angeles Superior Court lawsuit states that Trevor Phillips, a former employee of Yeezy fashion brand, said his relationship with the rapper/entrepreneur had soured by May 2023 after West allegedly threw a temper tantrum and threatened to punch him. The lawsuit alleges that the inciting incident was that West was unhappy with a garden Phillips was tending at Donda Academy, the private school founded by West and named after his late mother. This led to West allegedly screaming at Phillips in front of the crowd of people, saying he was fucking fired. Phillips claims he attempted to plead his case and reminded West that his daughter and younger brother attended Donda and pointed to an undiagnosed medical condition that he was reportedly suffering from. The suit claims West responded by pointing at Phillips and screaming, fuck your neck, then pointed at the school and said, and fuck your daughter. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Fuck your neck. What does that mean?
I assume that was
West
what the disease was related to.
Okay, that makes sense. West then allegedly attempted to pick up the garden that Phillips was working on, but was too weak and out of shape to pick the entire display up, according to the suit. The lawsuit states West then physically threatened Phillips, saying he was going to punch Phillips in the face. Then the lawsuit describes a sudden shift in mood in which West imitated the celebratory dance of Mario from the famous video game Super Mario Brothers. West jumped up, punching one fist in the air while he said, I'm going to give you one more chance. Another life.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Is that worth it, me reading that whole
Yeah,
thing
that's
out? Because I
funny.
think the imagery of
Okay.
Kanye West doing a Mario celebration dance and probably yelling Wahoo right after this weird tirade.
Oh my God.
So funny.
I'm gonna start doing that. Whenever I'm excited, just
Or whenever you get into whenever you're yelling at someone, just be like, actually, and then do a dance and say, another life.
what an interesting guy.
I know. I hope he gets help.
I agree.
Yeah. But people say that when he is on his meds and, dealing with his bipolar disorder, then he can't make good music.
That's okay. He's made
Yeah.
good
We've
music.
made
There
him.
doesn't need to be more new ones.
But don't
He
you
now
want
needs
him
help.
to make a Mario soundtrack? Because I do.
Honestly, if he makes a bunch of songs about video games and stuff, I'll listen to I'll do
Who
it.
was that? Didn't Michael Jackson try to make like a Star Wars musical or Lord of the Rings musical? But
He tried to be
what?
Spider-Man. I know that.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But I know he tried to do something, or some group tried to do something that they didn't have the rights to, but they just did it anyway.
Yeah, I have no idea. I can look up
Maybe it
was
was
it Star
the
Wars musical.
Beatles. It might have been the Beatles trying to make a Lord of the Rings, something like that.
Try to make it. The Beatles wanted to do an adaptation of Lord of the Rings starring themselves and
Yeah,
directed by Stanley Kubrick. Okay.
I'd watch that a million times. I'd be a fucking amazing.
Yeah, how would you watch that or the Multiple Man movie more?
Oh, honestly, probably the Beatles thing because it sounds weirder.
It really does.
Yeah. All right, should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
What's a thought, baby, for today?
Do you think you're the good baby or the bad baby
Oh
that won the
yeah.
fight? Which baby won the
Which
fight in your
baby
head?
are you? Thought baby. Which baby are you? You'll only understand that if you listen to the whole episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for indulging us on whatever this was today.
Yeah.
Good morning to you all, and to all, a good morning. Rhys, do your catchphrase.
I'm offended by how early it still is.
Oh, great catchphrase. Put it on a t-shirt.
I want to. That's what it's meant. It's meant. I think I've said
It's
this
meant
before.
it's meant for merchandise.
Yeah. No, it's meant at like 5 p.m. when you think it's like 9, you know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
think you think you can go to bed and you're like, shit, I can't.
I don't know. I think it works because we don't like I usually upload this at whatever time I finish editing it. So it's not usually that early in the morning.
Okay.
So it fits. But if
Okay,
you
good.
enjoyed this episode, please, leave us a review. It helps a
Mhm.
lot, supposedly. Like or subscribe to the show. Check out our YouTube channel, Not Rand. Check out our Tumblr, Not Rand Tumblin. Reddit, Not Rand Reddit. I've been getting emails from Reddit, and this is
Yeah.
weird. They're emailing me saying, here's an update from a community that you might like. Thick Fit. And I'm like, what? And then like they give me like a photo of like a woman at the gym, and I'm like, I don't want this.
Did
Like,
you
why
like
do you?
unsubscribe from it or
I
something?
did, but it
Okay.
kept going. Does unsubscribing not work anymore?
Not always.
Yeah, because whenever I unsubscribe, they just keep sending me shit. So I
Yeah,
just
I'm
block them eventually.
I'm sure there's some loophole that allows them to like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, Reddit, Not Rand Reddit, or you can join whatever that community was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Correspondence. If you want to ask us a question or reach out to us for any reason, you can do so at randandreese in the email at gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on X-Men 97, whatever new is out right now. If you have thoughts on a new movie or TV show and want to recommend it or anything, let us know. We have Twitter, not Rand's Twitter, I'm pretty sure. I don't use it, so don't follow me there. Or do. I have a Threads account, so you can tweet
Mhm.
me, or you can thread me, but
You can threaten you.
you can threaten me. That's good. James Gunn used Threads a lot. Oh, did you see the Superman logo?
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Looks good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's very yellow, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, yellows is a nice color sometimes.
Yeah, and I don't know, it looks colorful and cartoony, which I
Mhm.
think we need for a comic book world, which is objectively dumb.
Yeah.
There's a lot of goofy shit in every comic book world, but
That makes it
all right.
fun.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.